Hello and welcome to a SMURD video, and today we are looking at House of M, which I'll be honest, I have been crying out for this omnibus for years, and I'm so happy that it has finally happened. And you would hope with this coming out, obviously Civil War may follow in suit, collecting that epic event, although that's probably twice the size of this. I'm not sure. That should probably be two omnibus, so to speak. So, no more YouTube. Nah, I'm just kidding. I thought I'd throw that in there. No more mutants is the subject here. This book represents everything that the Scarlet Witch had become. She was broken and lost. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fan of this direct market cover. I don't know why. I never really warmed up to it. I always liked the standard, and funny enough, I seem to have managed to order that as well. Obsessed much? No. So it does have this usual thing up here, which seems to be the norm lately. House of M marked the start of an entire epoch in the Marvel universe from Newsarama. I'm not sure if that was an actual quote from back then. That would be quite interesting. But once again, Marvel, I feel you don't need to do crap like that. Nobody needs that to come and read House of M. So House of M is Avengers and X-Men coming together and colliding into the Scarlet Witch's spell, which is House of Magneto. Now inside, let me just pull this out a little bit. You've got the usual lovely Chris Marvel omnibus there, but more importantly, I love this logo here. It's absolutely stunning. Or more importantly, it would be stunning from the side. Now, I'm not sure why they haven't gone suit with that to have that like that. But in fact, I've never said that at all. Because actually every other Marvel omnibus in hardback is like that. But actually, it doesn't actually make sense if they switch that around. And then you got a picture of Professor X, and if I remember correctly, that's him saying, "Welcome, X-Men." And this is after the Professor X is going through something as well. He's just come off the back of Astonishing X-Men Dangerous, where him and the X-Men have pretty much fallen out, and he's on Genosha trying to... after returning alive, after being crippled, after Magneto was apparently returned to alive, after New X-Men's Zorn, Grant Morrison's retcon, whatever they want to call it. So this has about 50 issues in it. And on the back, sorry, you got my fingers in there, you got this lovely picture of Scarlet Witch and pixelating, which is pretty much what she does. She's shaping the world. In fact, it actually says the Scarlet Witch reshapes the world. And pretty much she's grieving. She created these children. They turn out to not be real. Then she went on to killing various members of the Avengers in just before New Avengers started. And then you sort of see at the end of that story, Magneto comes and collects his daughter and takes her to Genosha for Professor Xavier to help. And you almost get a prelude in that Excalibur run, which was very short-lived. It wasn't a very long run, and actually became another run with the likes of Sage and Juggernaut afterwards. Now, in terms of what this collects, now, obviously, I feel so this is about 50 issues, give or take my maths of counting. They could have easily, I feel in my mind, added Avengers Disassembled into this book. I feel like that's pivotal to why Scarlet Witch does what she does. I also feel that they could have easily slipped in those few issues, and bear in mind, I can't remember how many they were, whether it was 6 to 8 or something like that. There's a few issues around Professor X. It's probably actually only 1 or 2 issues from that, or material from that. Maybe there could have been material from that. I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't looked inside, so I'm going to be looking at this with you. So maybe there is a bit of a briefing before the story begins. So this pretty much does not collect any of that sort of prelude stuff, which I felt would actually be really good for this. This collects House of M 1 to 8, which is the main story. Then Spider-Man House of M 1 to 5. Fantastic Four House of M 1 to 3. Iron Man House of M 1 to 3. New Thunderbolts 11. Black Panther 7. Uncanny X-Men, which was Chris Claremont's run, 462 to 465. Wolverine 33 to 35. Captain America 10. Pulse 10. Cable and Deadpool 17. I felt like there was 2 issues. Maybe there wasn't. Incredible Hulk 83, 87. New X-Men 16 and 19. Exiles 69 to 71. Mutopia X 1 to 5. Decimation House of M the day after Giant Size, which is what's happened to the mutants. It's a one-shot before they go on that whole decimation journey across a few different books. Then you got Giant Size, Miss Marvel 1. Secrets of, because she comes out of it a little bit different as well. Secrets of the House of M Pulse. House of M Special. House of M 1. Director's Cut. House of M Sketchbook. And material from Hulk Broken Worlds Book 1. So there's quite a lot. Like I said, it's about 50, give or take. And I wasn't sure on those final things whether they were actually issues or just extra materials. There's quite a lot in this. Right, so I'm going to take off the dust cover. Now, I'm going to be totally honest. I got this from Forbidden Planet. And like all things, sometimes it goes well. Sometimes it goes wrong. You can automatically see I've got some damage on this book, so I'll be arranging for it to go back. So the creator, so this is written by Brian Michael Bendis and artist Olivia Coppel. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And I'm sure there's going to be other writers in there as well. And then it's got a synthesis, which I never read. So they're calling this book an Avengers X-Men book. And in particular, with the other cover I've got, I think it says Avengers X-Men, which I'm a bit irritated by. No offense to Thing. This is, to me, an X-Men book, predominantly around them. And then you've got this lovely family portrait within, which is very cool. I do dig that a lot. So let's see how I have set this up. Let me get my angles right. Maybe a little bit in. There we go. Right. So you can also see some damage there, which is disappointing. And it is a big book, and sometimes it does happen with big books. I don't think there's anything on there. No, there is. There's that portrait that you've just seen on the side, which is great. And then it says who all the different writers are. So it goes into a bit more detail, and it's kept it very simple on the careers page. And you got this lovely House of M going on there. Oh. Some brand new secret. Oh, sorry, and the rest of the book. So there's quite a lot of books in here. You can tell this is a very, very, in my mind, very well collected book. Now, you could argue with me, actually, do you need to read Disassembled or that Excalibur Prelude? You could probably get away with it. And you know what? They'll probably do a House of M Prelude Omnibus at some point. You watch, there will be something thrown in there. So this is very cool. So I guess my first thought is, does it collect the main event? And then go from there. There we go. Let's see. Come on, we got to be near. Nope. There we go. House of M for, okay, right, I'll recap through that. So yeah, so clearly it's event first and then everything after that, which I do like. Now, the only other time that this is being collected in some sort of collected format is the House of M. They had four hardbacks, one with the main event, and then they had all the different series in different books. So they had Spider-Man in one with Fantastic Four, for example, and an Iron Man, and then another one with blah, 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 Wolverine and Mutopia X, whatever. So they were nice books for their time. And I actually, I'll be honest with you, I made a mistake. I actually And it was a mistake in terms of, I think I was collecting, I was moving in a transitional period from paperbacks to hardbacks, and I actually sold 3 out of the 4. Well, actually, did I sell? No, I think I sold all 4 of. I think I sold all of them. Don't get me wrong, they sold very well. I made a lot of money out of them, but I felt I did try and buy them back. My intent was to try and buy them back. I think the last year or the year before, I was trying, and then obviously this got announced, and I thought, well, I don't need to try now. I can just sell those 3 out of 4 books that I managed to gather. So there's lots of different storylines in here, and I've got to be honest, I think if I remember correctly, I feel like I enjoyed probably 99% of them. And do you need to be reading those titles? Not when it comes to reading this, because the characters, how they are in this, they are completely different to how they would be on, in terms of, wow, that's really crispy. They would be completely different to the characters that you'll read in 616. So you don't necessarily need to know their ins and outs of these stories. Something that I don't do very often, which I'm really bad at, is I don't show you the beading. I'm not going to pretend to know what sort of beading that is, but that's how it's sort of glued together. If you watch Near Mint Conditions videos, great guy. Top usually gives us our news about Marvel books. In his reviews, I believe that he will probably identify what kind of eye it is, that sort of thing. He's very good at that stuff, so which is great. There we go. So lots of beautiful art, lots of different stories, and this book is, I'll be honest with you, a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to read. So do I recommend? I would seriously recommend this. This is a great book. And it's probably a cheaper way to collect House of M than trying to find trade paperbacks. Probably those hardbacks I talked about. I mean, they may go on the second market, okay. But I feel like this is a great, simple way to get it. So Secrets of House of M. So this is all about, I guess, the characters and how they've perhaps changed in this universe, if I remember rightly. There we go. Sapiens, as they're called. That's us, by the way. I still think of myself as a mutant. And then you get sort of like a secret history, I guess. And then you get all the different variant covers. So this is the sort of the standard edition book. They've sort of taken this picture, if I remember right, and they put it on the front, which looks very cool. And then they put X-Men and Avengers underneath. But I'll get that book. I may or may not review it, depending on how I feel. That is, I feel like this should have been the direct market cover. This one. Right here. This should have been this. This story is about the Scarlet Witch. Obviously the other characters as well, but you know what I mean. It should have been, I feel like it should have been that. This was one of the covers on one of the hardbacks, which I always enjoyed. In fact, that one that I pointed out that I said that should have been a direct market cover, that was also one of those hardcover covers. And then it's got a little sort of script here. It's great. So there is lots of extras if you're into extras. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not, sometimes I'm like, yeah. Wow, that is really cool. That's amazing. So some good sketches. I love this stuff. This is the sort of stuff that I enjoy seeing. There we have it. I think we are coming to the end. Oh, there's still lots of drawings in here. Yeah, some really great stuff in here. Oh my goodness, there's still loads. Just giggling to myself. So, really glad that's come along. So, if you're on the fence, come subscribe to my channel, watch some more videos. And then hopefully I help you decide if you want to buy these sort of books. Hopefully I help you make those decisions. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I get people coming saying, hey, thanks for your review. That helped me decide if I wanted to buy that. But this is a really good omnibus. I feel like you could read this. You don't need to read anything else in Marvel, X Universe or Avengers. Yes, there's the prelude. Yes, I would recommend you read that. However, to me, it's not, you could get away with it, put it that way. It's like when sometimes I buy, so for example, I brought Star Wars, War of the Bounty Hunters. I brought that on the fact that I felt that I could read that without having to read anything else. So anyway, if you like my channel, please subscribe. We appreciate it. Make sure you look after yourself. Very important these days. Thank you to those that are already subscribed. We appreciate your support. Make sure you look after yourself. Very important these days. And as always, embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.